Morning guys, it's Ian at SS8000 Cars and welcome to what is an absolutely fabulous day. In the drive today we have the Porsche Macan 4 electric. Now it's definitely a size up on the standard combustion engined Macan, but I rather like it. Huge wheels. Absolutely ginormous. I think possibly over-wheeled. It is a bit difficult to tell. It looks good though. I just don't know how effective it would be off-road. But it is a beautiful car. And I've had it for, this is the fourth day, and I've got it for a week, so it's going to be interesting to try it out and see how we get on. We're going up to London today. I just wanted to give you a brief summary of the car before I go. The range really breaks down into four as far as I'm aware. It's the Porsche Macan electric, producing about 360 PS, and then the Macan 4, which is I think the one you'd probably go for, which is 420 PS I think, or thereabouts. The electric 4S, which is again about the same but say 440 PS, and then the turbo, clearly not a turbo, the turbo, which is around 639 PS I believe. So it goes from quite powerful at the bottom end, so 360 PS, to 639, just immorally powerful in today's age I feel. But it is electric, it doesn't have any emissions, so you're not doing the environment any harm. I think they got the shape absolutely spot on. It's definitely an update to the standard Macan, but you can see the stylistic features of the Macan in the shape, and then the front is, I'd say, probably the most dramatically changed of the original Macan design. But it's an impressive piece of kit, I have to say. I've driven it on the country lanes because we're out in the country now, and I have to be honest and say that in the country you wouldn't want any bigger. It's obviously not the size of the KN, but it's a size up on the old Macan. I'd say probably nearer the size of the KN than the original Macan, but that's just the way that it feels. Once it's out on the road though, it's nimble, and as long as the highway is wide enough, you can drive it with gusto. Of course, you have a lot of the namby-pamby speed restrictions these days, or at least it tells you when you're going over the speed limit, and it has, I think it's lane warning departure, which means that it buzzes you every time you try and cross a white line unless you're indicating. Oh, just a quick mention, a quick update for you guys. Obviously I will feature this at a later stage. We've changed the Golf R for the Mercedes AMG 45S, and it is some machine. It's kicking out 420 PS, I think 416 brake. It is definitely a pocket rocket. Anyway, we'll come back to that another time. Back to the Macan. The usual key with the Macan, to open it up you press the open button. You have a front cubby hole really for putting stuff in. It's not huge at the moment, the charging cable is there, but you get a soft, maybe a couple of soft bags in there, and that's in addition to the normal Macan size boot. But it's better to have than not have. Charging is perhaps its only Achilles heel, but we'll come back to that a little bit later. move inside. Again, it's pretty much the design of all the Porsche range now, in term everything other than the 911 and the Boxster. So the Panamera, the Cayenne, and both Macans. We have a screen in front of the driver. This one doesn't have heads-up display. I must admit, heads-up display. The Merc has heads-up display, and I haven't had that in quite a number of years, and it's wonderful. Usual Porsche steering wheel. It's got the extra passenger screen in the car, and obviously your infotainment center and all your communication stuff on the central screen. Very easy to operate, and it feels very modern inside. You know, it's sort of a floating center console with the cup holders settled in. You've got a phone charger underneath the main little dash area here, and it also feels a little bit bigger than the previous Macan. I mean, I remember I had the Macan Turbo going back 10 years now, and it was always very tight. And I'm 6 foot-ish, and you know, sitting behind myself here is quite comfortable. And in truth, the driver's seat is set back because it moves back when you get out of the car, so you'd have more room in the back behind the driver's seat than you have here. And there's masses of room. I had a friend that's 6'4" in the car yesterday, and that's set for him, and yet you could still get somebody of a decent size in the back, and it's comfortable in the back. Like the color combination, actually, the black on linen type stroke white interior, I think is really very smart indeed. Now, I'm not going to go through all the controls now, but it's very basic. Once you open the car, you don't have to start it up again. Really, once you close the door, your dial here is for these are the transmission controls here. So it's down for drive and up for reverse, I think, or it might be the other way around, and then you've got a parking button there. But the second you open the door, you're ready to rock. So, you know, nothing to it really, and you have the stop button on the right hand side of the screen. Nicely put together though. I mean, Porsche have always been renowned for their quality, and the new Macan electric is absolutely no exception. There's leather everywhere. It's really nice. We come to the boot. You have to forgive me, I'm not 100% sure whether you can open the boot from the tailgate itself. It wouldn't surprise me if you could, but in the meantime, I think it might be a little bit shallower in the back than the standard Macan. You have the Bose sound system underneath taking up most of the room, but there are a few little side areas here that you could stash stuff you don't want to be on show. But it's a decent sized boot. If you were to load it up to the back tailgate, I mean, you'd get a lot of stuff in it. Quite impressive, in fact. And again, nicely finished. Push the button, like all cars these days. Push the button, and actually not on the AMG Merc. Doesn't have an automatic closed tailgate. So if I go back here, because it's been started, I think I've got to do that. Nope, that brings it on. Although actually it does bring it on nicely, so I can show you the display. You can crank through the different displays. I think maybe I have to be sitting in the car. There we go. Switch it all off. And your main controls, actually, if I'm there, there's your main controls down here for your climate control. You don't have to go into the infotainment center, the center screen, to put on things like your heated seats and to adjust the temperature controls in the car, which I think is important. I mean, I think car manufacturers will go back to buttons. This is interesting actually, because it's got a not only a haptic type display, but the whole thing moves to let you know that you've hit the correct button, which actually is quite nice. That's the heated seat. And this one's got the panoramic roof. Nice to have an opening panoramic roof, in my opinion. A lot of them are fixed these days, which I know lets light in, but it doesn't let fresh air through, does it? The only thing that I did understand with electric cars is the drag coefficient's incredibly important, and therefore if you see, certainly with the earlier cars like the i3 and the like from BMW, they were all very skinny tyres to try and keep that coefficient to an absolute minimum. I mean, this thing has huge wheels and tyres, and we're still 295s on the back and 265s on the front, I think. So maybe it's not so important if you've got a very efficient battery, and this car's efficient. Now, one of the disadvantages, as I found out a couple of days ago, is on a normal 7 kilowatt charger, I think it's 7 kilowatt, it takes a while to charge. So I went from 25% to 68%, but it took the best part of 6 to 7 hours. So you could well be talking about over 10 hours to charge the car using that type of battery. So I don't know whether that's good or bad. It may well be that it's pretty standard fare for the car, but then the other issue, of course, is it's, as you can see, it's frosty today, so we're sort of -2 here. And when I charged it up, I got it up to 170 range, and I went out to it this morning, yesterday morning, having not used it at all, and it dropped to 140. Now I know that's the temperature, but it's still something you have to watch out with electric cars. They're not as efficient in the cold. Whether that'll sort of go back up again as the temperatures of the day increase, I don't know. But I will let you know, because I'm out and about in it today. Okay guys, well, I hope that gives you a sort of an indication of the electric Macan. I'm actually, as usual, very impressed, but I do think when you buy an electric car, it does come with compromises, and you have to be, aware of what they are. All around charging and range. All right, well, I'll catch up with you later. Hey guys, it's Ian, SS8000 Cars, and we've got the Macan 4 electric sitting by the curb here. Had it up in London all day, and actually, do you know, there's no question, when driving in town, electric cars are absolutely perfect. They're absolutely silent. When you're sitting in traffic, they're silent, and this particular car is a wonderful car. And I chatted to you this morning about some of the disadvantages of charging and range, but other than that, this car lends itself to this sort of drive. Okay guys, thanks.